Greetings YouTubers and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a little review on this RELD Professional Head Gasket Tester Combination Leak Test Kit Detector. And you can see all the nice little things you get here. You get radiator caps with little nozzles on it. You get a leak detector test there, and you get some liquid. And the nice thing about this is here you do get two 17-ounce CO2 reaction liquids with this kit. And I bought this about 2 weeks ago. It is now here, and we're going to open up the box, but briefly we'll just kind of go over here. It's $74.56. The reason I bought this is a lot of these kits that you see online, a lot of them just have these simple little squeeze bottles that you or plungers that you put at the bottom. So let's say like this one right here. You don't get you have to stand there and hold it. This one here, you just kind of screw it onto your radiator, and you just dump the liquid down into the box, into the little plastic housing on the top, the plastic housing box, and you don't even have to stand there. You can kind of walk away and let it do its thing. But there's all kind of variations of kits on here for this one, so that's kind of nice. And you can see one of the ones I was going to buy that I kind of backed out was kind of like this one here, where you have to kind of stand there and kind of hold it, hold it in place and everything. I'm not sure if that would even stay in the radiator very well, especially down here. So this is what I bought. Meaning this kit here is what I bought, and as you can see here, if we go through some of the pictures here, you got a valve there, you got a little check valve you can kind of deal with and make things work the way you want it to work. And there's some of the other things that you get. And the reason I bought this is because it's in a case also. I won't have to worry about a lot of the stuff, coming up missing, breaking. You can see there is some of the other information that comes with it and everything. So I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. Now, I do have a leak on my Subaru. I don't know if it's a head gasket problem or whatever. I've rebuilt it, and it's kind of losing a little bit of fluid, and it's got a slight miss on startup on some days. But I'm thinking this might actually help me determine what's going on. And as you can see there, there's some more pictures of it and everything. This is on eBay, and you can buy a lot of these, but you just have to buy whatever makes you happy. So let's go ahead and open up the box and see what we got. Alright, so there it is. There's the Amazon box that came in, and it's probably about 12 pounds or so, and never been opened, so we'll see what we got here. We'll see if it's damaged or anything. And a lot of the stuff I buy, I spend a little extra money just so I can get a case. Like I said earlier, it's just so much easier to keep track of stuff. Alright, so there's the case. Push the box out of the way, and some tracking information. And it's sealed up, which is nice. Keeps some moisture out and all that. So we'll go ahead and break this seal. Get her open. See what we got on the inside. I think we'll just cut it open here real quick. Okay. There we go. And there it is. So case is not damaged. It's in good shape. And the bottom of it's pretty nice. You can kind of set it up like that, depending on how you want to do the storage. Locks are plastic, of course. They'll last forever if you just take care of them. And we'll turn it around this way, and we'll open it up, and there's what we got. All right, so there is our little leak detector, some information. Okay, good. This tells you all about how to do it. I was worried about the instructions. A lot of companies don't even give you instructions, or if they do, they're on a little tiny piece of paper. You have to take a magnifying glass to read it. So there's all the disconnect, quick disconnect connectors, your fluid, tells you how to use it and everything. So here is the important piece here. So you put your fluid in here, it changes color and all that. So I'll have to kind of read up on the instructions, but you get these nice radiator caps, which is nice. You can just kind of put this on, and you don't have to do a whole lot with it. You can just kind of sit there and let it do its thing, and you don't have to sit there and hold a squeezy bottle down on it like you do some of the other ones, and kind of sit there, do this for 10 minutes until the liquid changes. So once we figure this out here, we'll take it out there on my Subaru, but we'll see if some of these lids will actually fit. These radiator caps, we'll see if they fit on my truck. So you got this small one, you got this medium-sized one here, then you got this really large one here. This would probably be for some of the older vehicles. Now I do have noticed that don't have a seal around here, but there is a seal down here on the second part of this. Same here. We got the seal here. Really no seal down in there. I'll have to check my caps and see if they have a seal down in there, but I believe they I don't think they have a seal down here. It's just right here is what's important, where the relief spring is. So 3 different size radiator caps, and we got this little check valve guy here. Do its thing. And here's our liquid. So there's that. I think you can kind of see that. So we'll play around with this. We'll take it outside and see if we can actually get it set up here. I'll have to figure out how to set everything up and all that. So at least that's how I think it works. I could be wrong, but from what it shows right here on this picture, it looks like the cap goes on the radiator, then this goes on top of that, then you got your little plunger that goes on top of this where you kind of suck the air up, help it out, basically. Yeah, that's how that goes, like that. So kind of like that. And I can feel the air being drawn up down here. When I do that, you can kind of hear it. So I got my thumb on it, and I'll release. If I release my thumb, it goes big. So, all right. So that is that. Let's go outside and see what we got. See if my Subaru does have a head leak. All right. So we're out here on my 2010 F-150, and we'll take my cap off here, and I want to see if any of these caps will fit. This is something that you probably just want to know. A lot of YouTubers don't show you this stuff, so I take a little extra time and try it. And well, that one's not going to work. You would think it would work. It looks like the same thing. Now the next one here, the next size up, I don't think that's going to work because look how long that spring is compared to this one. Oh, gee whiz. Well, that one's not going to work on there unless you adjust that. I'm not going to mess with that. And of course the last one here we got. Well, there's no way that's working. That's way too big. So you can see some of the things you get into. Now the good news is when you buy this kit, you don't have to take your cap off here. You can just come up here and use this. If you have an overflow tank somewhere, and just sit here and go and bring the level up. But I was hoping one of these would fit on my Ford. Anyway, we'll go ahead and try the Subaru. Let's see if any of them actually fits the Subaru. Okay, we'll try the Subaru. Now, I noticed on the cap, I was out there looking at my truck a minute ago, and it turns out, I think if I bend these here just a little bit, it will help. I went on ahead and bend it just a little bit. I wanted to see if it's going to go in here okay. And as we try out the Subaru here, we'll push down on it. Hey, look at that. It worked. Okay, so I'm going to go back out to the Ford truck and see if that'll work on that. So that's all I had to do there. All right, so we'll take this cap and we'll kind of just bend the ears down just a little bit, or up, I should say. Not much, just a little bit, because it seemed like that was my problem. It just wouldn't kind of catch. All right, we'll take this cap off and push down on this one and see. Hey, look at that. Well, it actually works. All right. Wow. I was hoping that would work, but yeah, it looks like we're going to be okay with that. So if you get one of these, you might have to kind of go in here and adjust those ears a little bit, but at least I know I can use that on this and my Subaru. Yay. Wonderful. All right, so that is great there. And the same thing for the big one. You know, you probably use this on a bigger truck, or, you know, some of the bigger vehicles that have really large radiator caps, especially back in the 70s and 80s. All right, so let's go ahead and test the Subaru here and see if we have a head gasket issue. Now, I noticed when it's idling, and long story short, I've rebuilt the engine, got new head gaskets on it, but this back cylinder over here, all of them have 150 psi on the compression test, but this one back here only has about 130, so something weird is going on. So I'm not sure if it's something I overlooked, but I didn't see anything wrong. But when I put it back together and thought I'd do a compression check, that one was a little bit low, but it runs fine. Some mornings when you start it up, it has a slight miss, then it clears up and it goes away. So the other thing I've noticed, if I take this coolant reservoir cap off, once in a while I'll see little bubbles come out of this here. So it's telling me there's some pressure back building through there. So this is why we're going to do the test and all that. So we'll go ahead and hook this up. Nice thing is I can leave all set up. The one thing I did read about this is you can reuse this liquid. Once you're done with it, you just squeeze all the air back into the system. When it turns back to this color here, then you're good to go. I'm not sure what this here level is on the bottom was for. I think this is just probably an overflow level. But we'll go ahead and take this here off. Overflow level, if you're squeezing this on the top and you're drawing some antifreeze up in here, it just tells you don't go any higher than that, I would assume. I didn't see anything else about that, but for now, we'll go ahead and fill this halfway up here with the liquid. We'll start it up and we'll see what happens, and we'll hook all this up. So, you know, in a nutshell, this is how I'm going to test it out. So for my Subaru, I can go ahead and take this off. Yeah, I can just test it over the reservoir with this on here and stand there for 20 minutes and squeeze it. But if you have a really, really bad leak and you think you have, you know, a head gasket problem, then you can probably just stand there for a couple of minutes and just basically find out and watch this turn colors really quick. So we'll push that back down there. We'll take the top of this off and we'll get some fluid and we'll put this in here about halfway and we'll connect it all up. Also, it says in the instruction manual, when you want to release this valve before you take it off the radiator cap, you can turn this clockwise and some of the air will come out from the pressure once it cools down. But we'll go ahead and hook all this up. This will go like this, in here like this. You just kind of push that down a little bit. There's a little rubber seal in there. And just kind of gently tighten it down like that. And we put this one here, make sure this is tight. And put our fluid in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so we got her about half full. Maybe just a little more we should have. I'll put this back on the top. Push this on the bottom, pick up on that. That is tight. And now we got to do is start the car. But first we better put this on top. And hopefully, you know, we'll see how it goes. So let me go ahead and start it up. Alright guys, right off the back, look at that, we got bubbles. I think I've got a head gasket leaking or something. We'll let it run a little bit. If it turns yellow or green, see what happens. Nice thumbnail right there. And I don't see any bubbles in here. That's because they're all coming up here. So what's going on? I don't know. All right, we'll be back here in about 20-30 minutes. We'll see if this turns green or yellow. Okay. Something going on. That's not right. All right, we'll be back. All right, guys. Well, this thing's paid off already. Should I cry now or later? Look at that, it's turning green. And yellow. Oh well. Kind of knew I had a head gasket problem, but the weird thing is, yeah, it runs fine. Just sometimes it throws a miss a little bit. But hey, always trust your gut instinct, right? So pretty simple kit to use. It's already paid off, and that's how you get these caps on there and all that. So I guess no use to go any further. So we went from a nice bluish color to a greenish yellowish color. So there you go, guys. So maybe this will help you out if you want to buy one of these kits. There's a lot of videos online, and thought I'd throw my 2 cents in and my experience. So hey, let me know where you're watching from right now. We'll go ahead and wrap this up here. We'll take this off, and we'll see if we can get this back to blue color by getting a lot of air in it and reusing this like it says in some of the videos that I've seen online. All right, let's take some pressure off. It says to release the valve on the bottom for if there's any pressure. Well, it's pretty much off, I guess. So we'll go ahead and pull this off the bottom, and I think what you do now, you just separate this container right here, and now you just hold it and you pump air back into it until it turns back to a bluish color, I believe. Hey, look at that, it actually works. I don't know how long we'll have to pump it there, but it works. Changing colors back to where it was. So I'm not sure what this bottom cap is for. Like I said, I think it's just an overflow for the radiator, for the antifreeze or whatever. And you can see we're back, just about back to a nice dark blue color and all that. So there we go. All right, guys, so you know I'm cheap, and a lot of you are probably cheap just like me. I wanted to see just how much blue we can get this to go. It's pretty close. That is some raw stuff that I put in the container there that's never been in the system. This here's what we're trying to clean up a little bit. So if you wanted to be really cheap, you could probably do it another 5 minutes and get it nice and blue. But you know, for no more than this stuff cost a bottle, it's literally $3 or $4 a bottle. I probably won't put this back in the bottle to contaminate it. We'll just dump this out, but I just want to see how much we can get it to go blue. But it's fairly close. Left is the original bottle, and the right there is what we just did for the test. So anyway, things you might want to know. Alright, so as I'm putting everything back together, you can put the bottom cap back on. Like I said, this here is just for, if you don't want to take the radiator cap off, you can just put this on your reservoir and squeeze it like this, get it to change colors and all that. So, you know, I'm happy with it, and hopefully this video will help you guys out a little bit. If you're looking to buy one of these, I think it's a great asset and nice thing to have, especially if you're working on cars a lot. These things have been around for quite some time, and you know, I just thought I'd do a quick video, but I was really curious about my head gasket on this side, and there's something going on this side, so probably in the spring I'll get out here and do some work on it and try to find out what's going on. But other than that, I don't lose a lot of coolant, maybe a half a quart every 3 or 4 weeks. But you know, other than that, I've been driving it the way it is, and I've driven it over probably 2,000 miles. But you know, it's the little things that sometimes annoy you, and eventually I do want to get this fixed the right way. So there you go, guys. We'll put our cap back on. We'll wrap this video up. Thanks for watching, and until my next video, guys, I'll see you later.